Okay, so hi all. Um, this is our third day for Core Java. Now today's topic is about the while loop and all other loops which we have not yet completed. While, do while. Hmm. So what? Tell me the difference about while and do while loop. Anyone can tell what is the difference between a while loop and a do while loop if you have noticed that difference?
So the while loop and the do while loop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
think in the do while loop, the difference is that the program will execute at least once because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, the program will execute
Correct.
at least one
Correct.
because the code is inside the do. So
Mm-hmm.
before the while, before the condition.
Yes, correct. So in while loop, what we are doing is we will check the condition before entering the code. Okay. So while loop, in while loop, we check the condition first and then we enter in the code. Okay. So this is a while loop, like while I is less than 5. Um, if this condition is true, then only it will enter into the loop. Okay. While in do while, what will happen is it first enter into the condition, first enter into the code of or the block will execute it, and then the condition will be checked. Okay. So do while loop is a variant of while loop. In this loop, we will execute the code block once before checking the condition. If the condition is true, then it will repeat that loop as long as it is true. But first time it will execute anyway. So that is the difference between the while loop and the do while loop. Okay. In while loop, we'll first check the condition, and if the condition is true, then only it will enter into the code. But in do while, what will happen? It will first enter uh, into the code and then check the condition. So at least once the code will be executed. Okay. So we will do some examples. Is anybody has any doubt regarding the while loop?
No, Joy.
Okay. So we'll move ahead actually in OOPS concept. Okay. What is OOPS concept? Anyone can tell?
Clary, please, could you maximize your window to see it more?
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Thanks for reminding.
You're welcome.
Okay. So coming to the OOPS concept, object-oriented programming system or structure. Anything you can say, object-oriented programming structure or system. So Java is based on the OOPS programming, OOPS concepts. Okay. So OOPS is a programming methodology. Okay. Once the type of programming methodology is like it's a one of the type of the programming methodology. There are many programming methodology like procedural, functional, logical, structure, and also object. So we will read about the object. So in object oriented programming system, these are the 6 concepts like class, object, method, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. We have learned a little bit about class, object, and method, but today we will do it in detail. Okay. So for first thing is class is the collection of objects. Class is not a real world entity. It is a template or a blueprint. While object is a real world entity, which I have already told you, like class is the collection of objects, and there are many objects in one class. Okay, so it's a collection of objects, and class is not a real world entity. As I told you, the real-time example, like I said, dog. So if there is a dog, that means nothing comes into your mind. But if you tell the breed, like if it is an Pomeranian dog or a black dog, then the picture comes to your mind, right? So class does not occupy any memory. It doesn't occupy any memory because it's a generic thing. Like if you tell about the food, nothing comes into your mind. But if you tell about something like rice or roti, that food, then that is the object that comes in your mind, that okay, rice is something which you can see. Okay, food is a generic thing, but rice or roti will be like a object which you can think about it. Okay? So syntax of class is what? Inside the class, you can have variables, you can have method, constructor, blocks, which we will learn about the constructor and the block, and the nested class. You can have multiple class also inside a class. Okay, all these things you will learn. Now, the same thing which I have told you, like animal. Animal is a class. Okay, if we talk about animals, then what will come into your mind? Any animal can become, right? But if you tell about the object, that means a cat or a dog, then a picture comes into your mind that okay, this is the cat and this is the dog. Okay, same thing about the bird. If you say bird, nothing comes in your mind. That means no memory is allocated in the bird. If you say peacock or a parrot, then it comes to a mind that okay, this is an object. Okay, same thing is for vehicle. Okay, now comes the method. Method is what? What is the characteristics of this dog? It can like eat or drink. Okay, and peacock can fly and eat. So this is eat is like a common method for both these classes. Okay? These are the real-time example I'm telling you to make you understand that what all these are class, what is class, what is object, what is method. Okay, so method is showing the characteristics or the what they are gonna do it. That is called as method. Method is a set of code which perform a particular task. Okay. What is the advantages of method? Advantages of method is code reusability and code optimization. Okay. Same thing, like which I was telling, like eat. Eat is common for these two classes. What we can do is we can make it one method and call in both the classes. We will do that. Okay, we can make one method and call it both these two classes and make it code reusability and optimization. Means what is optimization? When you are writing a code, you can write in such a way that it will be very fast, and it will help your project to execute fast. That is optimization. Understood? Any doubt till now? What is class? What is object? What is method? So the syntax of this method is access modifier. What is access modifier? We have learned it in the previous class, like public, protected,
Private, protected, and default.
Correct. And public. Private, protected, public, and default. This is the access modifier. So you'll write either public or private before writing any method. Return type, either it is void or any integer, string, whatever is the return type. Then the method name. Method name is basically written in a small, start with a small method, it's like a small letter. And then if there is any second name, then it is written as a capital. Second name is written as capital. Okay. Suppose you are writing something like multiple of two numbers. Okay. Multiple of two numbers is a method name. So multiple is M will be small, of ka O will be capital, and two ka T will be capital, and N ka N will be capital. It's like a, it's nothing like it will not work if you don't write like that. But when you are writing like long codes, so there is a way of writing a method which you should follow. So that is the way of writing your method. Okay. If you will not follow that, then also your code will work. Nothing is stopping you. But this is the little, what you can say is a way of writing a method. Okay. In which M will be small. The first letter will be small, but the next will be capital. Starting alphabet will be capital. Okay. Now coming to the object.
Shami, what is return type?
Return type is void, usually like void or integer, whatever is your return type. Okay, when you are writing a method, this is the syntax, like either public or default. If you don't write, it is public. Okay. If you write void and
Void does void written anything?
Void is not returning anything.
Down,
okay?
right?
Void means it is not returning anything. If it is integer, that means you have to write integer 0 or integer anything, you have to return it.
Oh, okay.
So that is the meaning of, means like it is a syntax that you can write all these things when you are writing your method. Return type is basically usually it is void. Why? Because if you are not returning anything, it will give you error. And if you are returning anything, it will not give you error. But if you are not returning, if you are writing integer and not returning integer, it will give you error. So it all depends on your code that or you wanted to return something, then you will write that here. Otherwise, you make it void. Okay. Is that clear to everyone? This thing, once you will start writing the code, now I will tell you everything. Then it will be more clear for you. And yeah, list of parameters. I forgot that. List of parameters is what? When you are
can be an
passing. Yeah, correct. When you are passing some parameters in your method, that comes here. Okay, correct. Now comes the object. Object is the instance of class. Object is a real world entity. I told you everything. Object occupies the memory. Correct. Object consists of what? It consists of a unique name and an attribute. Like suppose there is a dog, then the dog has a color or a breed or an age. So that all are the attributes or the states of the object. And also it contains the behavior of like method. Behaviors are like methods. Okay, it contains that. How to create an object? Now this is very important. How to create an object? There are few ways of creating an object, like with the help of new keyword, with the help of new instance method, with the help of clone method, deserialization, and factory method. Okay, so these are the, just for your knowledge, I have told you that these are the ways which we create a object, but we will focus only on this first one. Okay, this is the new keyword method. Okay, in the new keyword method, what will happen is, how to create that object? There are 3 steps. Okay, declaration, instantiation, and initialization. There are 3 steps how you can create an object. This is very important thing. how to create an object with the help of new keyword. Okay. So these are the 3 steps. I'll tell you one by one. Suppose you want to declare. First, you want to declaration. Declaration is what? Suppose you write integer, right? Integer A. You declare that, right? So that is the same thing. You will write it here, but with the help of class name. Okay, suppose there is a class name animal. Okay, this is the animal, and then declare it with the name. Suppose Buzu. Buzu is the name of your dog. Okay, anything you can write it. So any variable name, you are defining it here, same as you are declaring your variables. Okay, the way you declare your variables, here also you declare a class. Okay, so class name you have written animal, and then the object, anything you can write it. I have written here as an example as Buju. Okay, now comes the instantiation. Instantiation is what? Giving a value to your variable. Okay, so what value we have given to our object? New value I have assigned it here. Now comes the instantiation and then initialization. Okay, the third step is initialization. What is initialization? Initialization is giving that value to the class as a constructor. So I have not told you about the constructor. In today's class, we will learn about the constructor also. So this is a constructor of this class. What is constructor? The same name of the class. So this is the way of writing a object. I will tell you, this is the syntax. Animal of like class name, object name equal to new, and then the constructor. See, this is the syntax. Class name, object name equal to new. New is the keyword, and then the constructor of the class name. Same thing. Whatever class name you have written, you have to write the constructor of the class name. Constructor is nothing but a method of the same class name. Okay, so this is the thing which you need to remember, that what you are doing here. Here you are declaring the object. Here you are instantiating the object, and here you are initializing it. Okay, so this is the 3 steps. Combining these 3 steps, you get this one. Okay, so this is the way you create an object. Okay, so suppose this is the class name and this is the object name, but what you wanted to do, you want to call this method with the help of this Buzu. Now how you will call this method? You have created an object. Now you want to call these methods. Okay, how you will call it? With the help of this object. You have made an instance of this object. Okay, now with the help of dot operator, you will call the methods. Okay, so this object name dot run. Run is the method. Okay, so object name dot method name is the way you can call the methods. Okay, is there any doubt? Because this is really important when we go ahead in Java. This will be used everywhere. Okay, so if you don't understand also, then also it's fine, because we are gonna do it again and again, so it will be clear. Now for example, there is one example, animal class, in which we have 2 methods. Can anyone tell the output of this method?
It's 1.
Sorry,
1.
Yeah, output of this program, it's 1. Correct. So it's a simple thing. Why this is not printed? Why this is not printed?
Because we need to call this method, the first method.
Correct.
Because
We have not yet called this.
that method. Yes.
Yeah, very good, very good. So what will happen is when we execute any program, only the main method will be called first. And whatever inside the main method, the only that thing can be executed. Okay, only the main method things can be executed. If there are many things written or any methods have written, but you have not called in the main method, it will not execute. So the starting point of your execution will be with main. Okay. Now, can you tell me the output of this program? This is the object instance which we have created, animal. This is the animal class name. Then there is one object equal to new animal. Okay, this is the constructor. Okay, constructor of the same class name. Okay, this is the instance which we have created, and we have called this method which we have already written here. Can anyone tell the output of this?
I'm eating.
One and I am eating.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. So it's clear to everyone, or should I write this example in Eclipse? If you wanted me to write the exam. Okay. So is that clear to everyone that what we are doing? Any doubt?
No, it's clear.
Okay.
Clear, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now looking at this example, class name animal, then there is a method eat, and then in main method we have called two methods. In the main method we have called this public void run and public void eat. Then what will be the output of this program?
It's one.
I'm
Then
eating.
eating.
I'm running.
Then I'm running.
Correct.
Yeah.
So clear, everyone, how to create an object and how to call the methods. Okay, it's simple. Now comes one more example. I'm telling you, like there is one method, and then what we are doing, there is one more class. Okay, there are two classes. One is animal class and one is bird class. Okay, but it is not like inside it, it's a separate class. Clear? It's a separate class. Okay.
Yes.
What will happen is we are creating two methods, two objects, two instances of the object, which is called as, one is Buzu, which is the same class name, and another is the bird class name, which we have created Pa. Okay, and what will be the output of this? Can anyone tell? Oh, it's not this thing.
One.
I'm running.
I'm eating, I'm running, I'm flying.
And
Correct.
then, yes.
Yeah, correct. So, do you want to try this program, or you will try it later? Should we move ahead? So understood that how these two classes, the point you have to remember is when you are writing some class. Okay, I will show you.
Excuse me.
Yes.
In here,
bird also construct?
Yeah, bird is also constructor of this class. Okay, I will explain in the Eclipse. Just a second. Okay. So suppose there is one package. I've already told you how to create a package, and inside that I've created one class. Okay, class is animal. Okay, animal. I have created one main method. Right. Now what will I do? See, this is to taken care of. This thing is, whenever you write a class, the main method should be in that class. Okay, that is the important thing. If you write, suppose bird, okay, and you are writing your main method in animal, it will not run. It will not execute. Okay, so looking at this program, if you write, see, if you write the bird class and you are writing main method in animal, it will not execute. Getting my point? It will not execute. If you're writing, here you're writing bird and you're writing your main method in animal, it will not execute. So whatever name you are written here, the main method should be in that particular class. Okay, then only it will execute. Okay, now suppose I'm writing suppose I'm writing some methods, right? So what method I want to write? Can anyone tell?
Like access specification, like public.
Correct. Public void.
Run type void, and then method name.
Correct. So this is the way we can write it. Right. So suppose we are writing, I am running. Okay. And there is one more method. Suppose I have written anywhere you can write either either lower or you know, if you write it after this class also, it will execute wherever you can write it. That doesn't matter. Okay. Now there is one more class I have written, class bird. Suppose I've written a class bird, and here I have written one more method, which is fly. Okay. Okay. Now what I will do in the main method, I want to call all these method inside the main method. Then what I will do?
First
I will
object.
make, correct, to create an object, animal. Then any object name, any object name I will write equal to, then new, very good, animal.
Constructor animal.
Correct. Constructor animal, right? Then what we'll have to do? Whatever the object name dot, see, it automatically comes. Whatever method you have created now, see, eat and run you have created. So it will automatically comes. If it is not coming, then there is a problem. Okay. Dot run. See, it automatically comes inside your. Now what I will do, I will create one more object from bird. Bird equal to new bird. Now b dot fly. See, it automatically comes. Correct? So this is the way of writing the calling the methods and from different classes you can call. Okay, and execute it. All these things are coming. Okay, now you tell me if I write here, what will happen? First, what?
The sequence first run will be executed. I'm running, then I'm eating.
Correct. And if I do like that, then
I am flying.
Then I'm flying, then I'm running. At
so it only depends on the main method, how you will wanted to write it. Okay, it doesn't matter where the wherever you have written the method, it doesn't care. But if you have written the things in the main class, that only matters. Okay, so the main class is the gate for everything. Like whatever you've written in the main class, it will show that. Clear? Okay. Moving ahead. Everyone is clear with this thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Teacher, I have a doubt.
Okay, great.
So,
Mm-hmm.
like if you go back to your Eclipse, because here we created the class, like inside the class, right?
No, this is not inside a class. This is a separate class. See, this parenthesis is ending here. Okay.
Oh,
And
okay.
this class. It's both are individual class. There is no inheritance right now. I'm creating.
Oh, okay. But why does like this class does not have like public or private or something? Or is it default?
Classes don't have like classes.
Like for the first one, we have public class.
Yeah, you can write classes here also, but it's a default also. No, see, correct. You cannot write public because only one class has only public, okay, which you are creating, but the other class cannot be public. Okay, there is only this is a catch, like all the classes cannot be public. Only one class can be public. Rest all will be default.
Okay. All right.
Write public here, it will give you error.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah. So it cannot be public. Only one class can be public. And as I told you earlier also, only that class can have main method. If main method, if you write it here, it will not execute. See, if this main method, if you cut and paste it here inside the bird bird class, it will not give you any error, but it will not execute. If I try to run, see, it will give you error. Okay, please define the main method as public. Okay. If I defined it as public also, and I make it as a this, I doesn't make public, then see what will happen. Then again error. Okay.
why this? Because bird class is public, and in public we have defined the main method, so it should run.
No. The thing is, you have to write the name of this class. See, the name of this class. See, I told you, like, when I was telling you about the architecture of the Java, that time I have told you that there are a Java C. Java C means Java runtime.
Yes.
That thing is tell you that what is the name of the class, and according to the name of the class, it executed, it compiles. Java C is what? Java compiler. So Java compiler search for the main method in this class name, which you have written, right? The name of the class you have written is animal, and inside the animal, the Java compiler finds the main method, and when the main method is not visible, then it gets confused that where is the main method for the animal class. Okay.
So like Java will look for the main method inside the class that we declare at the when we declare a class, like the name.
Correct. So in this package, we see the first Java program. So in this package, it will search for the main method, and if the main method is not visible here, then it will give you the error. Okay. If you go back to the slide 1, I will tell you. Not 1, 2, second day. Second day I told you about the here, this one. Okay. So this is a Java development kit. You remember I have told you about this. So in the Java development kit, there are some tools available: Java compiler, and Java docs. So this Java compiler, when this Java compiler compiles this program, and when the compiler see that this main method, this class doesn't have a main method, then it gives you the error. Why? Because it always search for the class name which you have declared, and inside the class name it search for the main method, because it always starts with the entry point of the Java compiler is what? The main method. Is that clear to everyone? Any doubt, please ask me, because this is very important thing. And this is a basic concept. And if the basic concept is not clear, it will be difficult for you to understand further.
We're good.
Okay. We'll just correct it. Okay. Now come further. Now, how to initialize the object? Okay, this is also very important, that how you can initialize your object. There are 3 ways of initializing your object. First is by reference variable, by method, and by constructor. So we will learn everything in detail. First, by reference variable. Okay. Now, what is reference variable? Whenever we create any object, okay, that time, if there are some variables available, you can directly call it. These are all what? These are all instance variable. Instance means global variable. In Java, we call it as instance variable. In C++, we call it as global variable. Thing is same, but the name is different. Just the name is different. Like for functions, like methods, we in different language we call it functions, but in Java we call it as methods. So the same way, these are called as instance variable, and these are called as local variables. Oh, sorry, local variables are not here. Okay, So when we wanted to call these instance variable with the help of reference, how you can do is with the help of object, you can call the variables also and assign and give the variable a value. Okay. See, inside the main method, there is no color and no age available. But with the help of object, you can call it. Okay. I will tell you in Eclipse also, I will tell you that how you can do that. Okay, suppose this is the just deleting all this stuff. Because already you have the programs with you. Okay, so suppose there are instance variables. Suppose integer,
Age.
Anything you can write, or string color. Okay, you have written. Okay, this is the age. Fine. Age. Now in main method, you don't have this instance variable. These are all what? These are instance variable, and you wanted to use it inside your main method. Then how you will do that? You can just write dot color, okay, equal to, okay. You can assign the value to these variables with the help of object. Equal to, why I have not written here double quotes and why I have written here double quotes? Anyone can tell?
For text, we use
Yeah, for string we use the double quotes. For the integer, we just write the number.
Correct, correct. So for integer, we don't need double quotes, but for the string, we need double quotes. Okay. Now, if I wanted to print these things, what I can do is simple sysO, and then
Age and color. No?
sorry,
Yeah.
and then
Dot color.
correct.
Not age.
Okay. What was the? There should be a gap, right? Otherwise, it will, how it will identify that this is the thing. So always write a gap between these two things, right? If I run it, so this is the same. This is the thing it will print. Okay. So the idea is what? With the help of object, you can call these variables inside the main method or any method you can write. Okay, so this is called as by reference variable. Okay, now by method. What we can do by method, there are suppose instance variable, which I've told you, these are instance variable and these are local variables. Local variables is what? C and A, which is local to this method. Okay, these are all local to this method. And then what is happening is we can initialize the value of this by this thing. Why we are doing this? Can anyone tell why we are initializing the value? to make it to like giving the values to the instance variable. These are all the local variables, and we are assigning the left side. See, when we are writing color equal to C, that means we are giving the value of C to the color. Okay, this is the opposite way, right? When you are writing color equal to C, that means whatever value is there in the C, you are passing it to color. Okay, always remember that right hand side gives the value to the left hand side. Okay, so what will happen is when you are writing this Buzu dot this method name and then black and 10, so these values are going to initialize to C, like black is initialized to C because it's a string, and the 10 is initialized to integer, which is integer A, and then these two values are initializing to this instance variable. And with the help of instance variable, why we are doing this? We can use it in other methods also, right? So we have to use these things in other methods. Then what we have to write it? This is the way we should write it. Okay, we can use it in other variable, like in display also we can use it. If we are using it for, if we are not doing this, we cannot use it in other method, which is a display method. Okay, display method we cannot use it if we are not doing initialization with the help of method. Okay, closing brace. Okay.
The slide says, excuse me, the slide, the class animal, there's no public.
This class you are saying, you can write public or you cannot write public. It doesn't actually matter.
Okay.
It will be defaultly public only.
Okay.
If you are writing public in two classes, then it will give you error. But if you are not writing public in any class, it will not give you error, because by default it is public only. If you are not, if nothing you are writing here also, see, I have not written access modifier. You can write, but if you don't write, by default it will be like a public. Okay, here if you see here in method, oh, I have deleted. I have not written in every method, I have not written public. Correct? I will show you. Okay, I will write this this program, and then I will tell you that if you write public, then also it's okay. If you don't write, then also it's okay. Okay. Suppose I'm writing one method. This is a string color. Now I'm writing one method void. Return type is very much important. Okay, return type is important. See, again, when I'm writing a method, I'm writing integer object. Like O, I have written capital, but I have written small. So this is just an indentation, I mean, way of writing. Okay. Now I want to pass two variables here. That is called as local variable. This is called as instance variable. As I told you, instance variable, which is called as global variable. These are all the local variables, local to this particular method. Okay, so I'm writing string C and integer A. Right? So these are all the local variables. Right? Now inside that, I'm not writing this one. What I wanted to do, I wanted to pass with a method, right? So what I will do, this animal Buzu is equals to new animal, then Buzu dot this method name, right? This is the method name which we want to call. And inside that, I'm passing this lakh, and what I'm passing here, age. Age is what? Anything like 10 or 20, whatever you write, right? Okay, that I'm passing. Now this, what I will do, I will remove here, and then suppose I wanted to display, for displaying, I wanted to use one method. If you are displaying here in the main method, then you don't need to initialize the object. But if you wanted to write it in a different method, okay, then you have to do it. See, it is giving you error right now. Why? Because you have not initialized it to the instance variable, correct? Once you initialize it, like color equal to C, and if you initialize age equal to A, okay, and then what you will do, then you don't need this. Then you don't need this, as it is already initialized with these variables. Now you see all errors are gone. What we are doing here, everybody is clear. We are just putting these values here in the local variables, right? We are passing these values. Okay. We are passing these values to these local variables, and with the help of these local variables, we are giving the values to this instance variable. And why we are giving the values to the instance variable? So that in some other method, we can display it or we can use it. Okay, so this is the way you can use your values in different methods. We cannot use it if it is not assign it to instance variable. Okay, this is called as, what is this called? Can anyone tell?
Initialization.
Initialization. Okay. Okay, so this is called as initialization. Anyone has any doubt in this? Because this is the, what it is. Okay, I have not called it.
That's no display.
Teacher, I have that.
Boso.display.
I have not called. That's why it is not displaying. See, that means you are attentive. Yeah, anyone was asking any doubt?
Yes. Yes.
Tell me.
Yeah, you said before, if we keep the parent line inside the main method, we don't have to initialization for a void int object. So what we need, so we leave it empty, the method, or what we
Can you come again? Sorry, I just couldn't understood your question. Can you come again?
Yeah, you said before that we can leave the parent statement inside the main method.
Inside the main method, you can.
Yeah, and we don't have to do initialization for color equal to C and age too. So what we put inside this method?
Display method. Inside the display method, we are just displaying the variables, right? And we and inside that main method, we are just calling this method, display method. That's it. What we are doing here, we are calling this object, this method. Integer object is a method which we are calling here with the help of this object and passing the values to these variables, which these are all. What is this called? Tell me. I have told you. Correct. Parameterized variable. These are all parameterized variable, and we are passing these parameterized. If I tell, okay, if I tell you like integer A and string C, Will it work? Tell me, will it work? It will not work because it gets confused, because everything should be in a proper way. Like if you have written string here first and then integer, then the same thing you have to do it. Otherwise, this is a new method. Okay, so this is a different method altogether if your parameterized variables are not proper. Okay, so this is the different method altogether. You can write a different method with the same name. Okay, in which you have a string here and a integer here. Okay, integer here. Then it will work, but not like that. Okay, so everything should be proper. Everything should be like the way it should have written. Okay, integer a. Okay,
Teacher,
am I clear with your question? Am I answered your question?
Not.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, can you please ask again? I think
What I mean, if I take this variable answer, the
which
local
variable?
variables inside this method.
Okay, you mean to say I am not passing this variable?
No, we leave it like this. We leave them like this and just take this and take out void display and leave system out parent inside the public static void main.
You mean to say like this?
No.
If you are not passing it. Still, anybody else got the question? What?
I think I was going to ask the same question. Like instead of the display method, can we use the print statement inside the main method, and is it going to be the same result?
Yeah. It will going to be the same result.
Okay.
Instead of this thing, but you have to just write the object here.
So here we are using the display method. That way we don't use the object for like POSU.
Yeah. Why we are not using the object here? Because of this.
Because we are using
because
the method.
it's an instance variable. So we have already assigned it to the initialize it to the instance variable. So we don't need any more object, and object is created by main method. So if you execute like this, it will display same thing.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
okay.
Now you understood?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So, any doubt? Anyone has any doubt?
No, it's clear.
Clear? In later point of time also, if you have any doubt, you can ask me, because this is very important topic. Okay, going further. See, we have done with the help of instance variable, reference by initializing the object with the help of reference variable and method. Now it's like constructor. Okay. So what is constructor? Constructor is a block. So this is a very important point. Okay. Constructor is a block which is similar to method, having the same name as a class name. Okay. I've told you that a constructor can have a same name as a class name, then it's a constructor. Okay, but constructor don't have any return type. Okay, so is this a constructor? This public void test.
No.
Is this a constructor?
It is there.
Yeah, correct. So constructor does not have any return type. I will tell you why there is no return type. But right now, you understand that this is not a constructor. This is a normal method. This is not a constructor. Okay. This is a normal method. Why? Because it has a return type. Okay. Moving further. Is this a constructor?
Yes.
Your test. Yes. So here it is a constructor. Constructor can have a access modifier. Public, private, protected, and default. Same. Modifier can have a, constructor can have a modifier, but cannot have a return type. Okay. So this is a constructor. This is a class name, class test name, and then this is a public test. So this is a constructor. How we can call or execute or run the constructor? We'll learn it. It can be executed automatically when we create an object. So once we create an object, see this is not executing, but if we create an object of this method, then it will automatically execute. Okay, there is no need for like calling a constructor or calling any constructor variable. It will execute automatically. How I'll tell you. Okay, suppose this is a constructor, and what we have done in the main method, we are creating an object of a constructor. Okay, then we don't need to call this method. Like this method is not required. It will automatically call and it will execute it. Okay, so suppose we have created T object of a test class. Okay, then T.test. We are calling this method. So this is not required. It will call automatically. Okay, constructor execute automatically when we create an object. As soon as we have created the object, that means we are calling this object and we are executing all these things which are inside the constructor. Is that clear to everyone?
But here public test is a constructor, not a method.
This is just a constructor, right?
Yeah. So we don't need to call the constructor here like T.test.
No, we don't need to call it. It will execute automatically. That is a very important interview question. I'm telling you. Like if you want to call the constructor, what you will do? You will just create an object and it will automatically call. Okay. So whatever is the written inside the test, it will execute automatically and it will call automatically once you create an object for that constructor. Clear? Is there any doubt?
No.
We will do many examples. It's just that I'm telling you theoretically that these are the things. Okay. Now, why we create a constructor and why we need to create a constructor? What are the needs and why we use constructor in Java? Because constructor is not used in any other languages, like not like any other language, but C, C++, we don't use constructor. But in Java, this is the new concept introduced, that is using, that is constructor. Okay. So what is the use of constructor? Why we need it? So suppose we have created one class which has an employee name, and inside that there are two variables, instance variable, string name and integer employee ID. Okay. And then what will happen is we are creating an object E1 of employee. Okay. So what will happen? Okay. I have told you that this is the object which we have created. Okay, this is the instance which we have created of an object. So what that means? What that means? This means that in the memory, I have booked a space for these variables. Okay, these are the instance variable, and I have booked one space which has a name as E1. E1 is the object name, and I have booked this memory unless until I have given any, I'm assigning or initializing any name as anything. So it will give you null. Okay, same with employee ID. If I have not given anything, it will give a 0. Okay, why null and why 0? Because this is string and this is integer. Okay, so that's why this is null and this is 0. So I have just booked a space. Okay, so that is the main purpose of the creating an object. Okay. Now, what will happen? I have created two objects, okay, E1 and E2. So two spaces are occupied. Okay, clear? Now, I have to, if suppose there are 500 employees, okay, so do I need to create object for all those 500 employees to, assign their name and their employee ID? It's a very tedious job, right? Are you all with me? Right? So yes. If we are creating so many objects for all the employees, then it's a very it's not a very good practice program, right? It's not a good practice program to write all these creating all these objects and assigning the values to it. Suppose I'm assigning this name as Chavi, employee ID as 101, and then giving the values to these objects. Okay, even I'm assigning this. So this is going to do it same name and same employee ID. This is not a good practice. This is also not a good practice that for E1.name, I have written Chavi, and E1.employee ID, I have written 101. Then again, E2.name, I have given ABC, and E2.employee ID, I have given 101. Either it is solving the purpose, but again, it's not a good practice program. Because how many times you will write it? See, the number of codes, number of lines of our program is increasing, right? So here comes the use of constructor. Okay. So this is a good practice of writing a program, which I've already showed you that we are passing these values. Okay. Employee E1 equal to new employee, and inside the constructor. And while we are creating the object, we are assigning the value inside the constructor. Okay. Constructor, what we are doing? We are passing the values of name and employee ID. Okay. Here also we are creating the object and we are passing the value name and employee ID. Now see how many codes we have saved. How many lines of codes we have saved. Here you are writing so many lines of code, but here you have written only 2 with the help of constructor. What we have done? We have created one constructor employee, and we are passing the values string name and integer, and with the help of this keyword. Okay, why we use this keyword? Because we have used the name, instance variable name, and the local variable name same. Okay, so I will tell you in detail about this keyword, that where all this keyword is used. But right now I'll tell you just like this keyword is used to use mainly in the constructor to differentiate the instance variable and the local variable. So this is the local variable and this is the instance variable. I will show you it in the Eclipse, how to write it. Okay. Okay. So you understood it theoretically. I will explain it to you practically also. It's a very simple program, but the thing is, it's very important to understand this concept. Okay. So I'm creating one class name as employee. Okay. Adding the main method here. Okay. This is of no use, so I'm deleting it. Now, what I will do is, I will write two instance variable. One is string name. Okay. And other is integer employee ID. Here. Now what I'm doing, I'm creating one constructor. Okay. Constructor is the same. What is the how we can write the constructor? Same name. Okay, but what you have to write?
Access modifier.
Right. So you have to write the access modifier, which is public. Okay, and then this will become the constructor. Okay. Inside that constructor, you need to pass these values. Okay, string name, and integer employee ID. Okay. Now what you will do here? Tell me what I will do here?
Creation of object.
Correct. So I have to create one object. Suppose E1 I have created with the help of new keyword, and then again constructor, right? Inside that I will pass values. I will pass it. Wait. Then E2 equal to new keyword. New. Then again. Right now 2 only I will do. Now what I will do? I will pass one ABC. Then comma. Then what? This, right? Then XYZ. There's some name. And then what? 102, anything you can pass. Okay. Now what will happen? Now you have to initialize it. These are the instance variable and these are the local variable with the help of this keyword. Why you are using this keyword? Because the name of this integer and this local variable and instance is same. So what you will do? You will use the help of this keyword to differentiate it. Okay. I will tell you this name equal to name. If you select this, it will highlight this one. And if you select this, it will not highlighting, but it is this one. Okay. If you select this, if you select this, this is, it's slow, that's why. It's very slow, that's why. Otherwise, the meaning of this dot name is referring to this name. Okay. And this dot employee ID is referring to this employee, the instance one. And this is the local one. Okay. So whatever value you are passing to the employee, which is the constructor. This is the constructor. Any doubt that this is constructor?
Teacher, what if the name of the parameters we pass to the constructor are different than the instance variable's name?
Then you don't need this.
So it's gonna be like the last example that we had.
Yeah,
Okay.
like if you are writing like that, then there is no use. But sometimes you know what happened? You get confused, like, you know, you wanted to be use the same name. Okay. You wanted to use the same name, then this will happen. This keyword will be used. I will tell you this keyword in detail in the next class. There is 6 or 7 uses of this keyword.
Okay.
That will be done in detail. Yeah, but the same thing. Yeah, whatever we just studied. So this is the same thing. If you are, see, when you highlight the employee ID, it is showing that it's a local variable. And when you highlight the employee underscore ID, it's showing that it's an instance variable. Okay, same thing. Name and then N is like this way. Okay, so this is the way. If you double click it, it tells you that where all it is used. Okay, so any which way you can write it. Either if you wanted to use the same name in your local variables, then this keyword is used. Otherwise, don't use it. Okay, so just to avoid the confusion, I'm not using. Now what will happen is this is the way you can use the constructor. But if you want to display it, what you will do? If you want to display your employee IDs, what you will do? You'll just write sys-o, right? Then tell me what I have to write. Can anyone tell? If you want to display these variables, sorry,
Object
whatever value.
Dot N and the ID number. The employee
E1
ID.
dot, right?
Yeah.
E1 dot.
The object dot the
name.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
E1 dot E1 dot name and then
E dot employee ID.
Okay, we have to write first plus, then colon colon, and then gap. Then what we have written E1 dot employee ID, correct? And the same thing here also. If we have to write E2 dot name and plus, right, plus E2 dot is that clear to everyone? Any doubt in this?
Chavi, I have a question. Like when you initialize the thing, then you maintain the sequence?
Oh, sorry, you are breaking. Can you come again?
Like when we are initializing with the instant variable, at that also we need to follow the sequence, like name should be first, then employee ID, or we
No. Like just to make you understand. No. That is not required. Anything is okay. You don't need to maintain a sequence. Only the initialization is important. See, if I don't make a sequence, then also it is okay. No need for sequence. Yeah. Only initialization is important. No, sequence is not important. Here, sequence is important. Here, when you are displaying, here sequence is important. Okay.
Okay.
Is that clear to everyone? Any doubt?
So in system, like yes, here if we first write employee ID, then a space name, then it will not run.
No, it will run, but just the display is not correct. See.
Okay. First employee ID will come and then the name will come.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Everything will run. Like if I say sys-o and sorry, if I write E1 dot employee ID, then, but this way it should write. Otherwise, you know, it will not, it will give you some error. If you write, this is the way, like plus, when you are doing some, addition of your different variables, that time you need to add this plus sign. This is the, what you can say, syntax. Then name. Anything you can write it. Then what will happen? If you execute it, first the employee ID will come, then the name. So it all depends on how you want. Okay, it doesn't matter. Anything is fine. Okay, is that clear to everyone? Any doubt? Any more questions?
Teacher, how do you display the system.out print line with the help of a shortcut?
Yeah, so that is when you write SYSO and then control and space bar.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Control and space bar will tell you allow expand your SYSO. So this is the shortcut. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other doubt? Good. You have observed it and asked me. Any other doubt? These are all the programs you should practice it. Okay, I will give you these programs, but you practice it at home. Okay, it looks simple, but when you start doing it, you will forget it, what I have to do, like how I have to make it constructor, how I have to write the constructor, you know, like if I don't write public, then also is that working? Okay, so same, you will explore more when you write it everything by yourself. So is that clear? So what is the use of constructor? Now we will check that how many types of constructor are there. Okay, so these questions are answered, right? Like why we create constructor, what are the need of constructor, and why we use constructor in Java. So to make our task easy, we use constructor. Okay, because otherwise by using methods or by using instance variable, it will be a very tedious job, correct? So to make it more reusable and optimizable, we use constructor. Okay, now how many types of constructor are there? So there are 3 types of constructor. First is default constructor, which is generated by the compiler. Okay, always when we create object, you see we create a constructor, right? So this is the generated by the compiler when we write our object. Okay, then there is no argument constructor and there are parameterized constructor. Okay, there are 3 types of constructor. This is also very important interview question, that how many types of constructor is there. So we have to know that there are 3 types of constructor. What is default constructor? This is also very important interview question. Like what is default constructor? So what you will say, default constructor is generated by the compiler, which doesn't have any argument and it was generated automatically. okay, by the compiler when we are creating any object. So this is the default constructor. So whenever we write this object, okay, whenever we are creating an object, instance of an object, so that time there is a constructor which we write. I told you, right? When we were creating an object, this is a constructor, and this constructor is created by the compiler. Construct or created by the compiler, and this is called as default constructor. Okay, this is called as default constructor. Clear? So now comes the no argument constructor. Okay, so when we are not passing any argument, then it becomes a no argument constructor. And if you are passing any arguments, then it becomes a argument constructor. Okay, so this is also called as user defined or programmer defined constructor. So we are creating this constructor. Okay, and this also we are creating. Okay, because okay, so this is not a valid line now. Why? Because once we have created a parameterized constructor, and then if we are writing like this, okay, I will show you. See, we are created one parameterized constructor, and if we write like this in the next line, like employee E3, suppose I've created E3 equal to new employee. Okay, so this will give you error. Why? Because once we have, what error it will give? The constructor employee is undefined. So once we are created an parameterized constructor, after that we cannot create a things like that, like without the parameter. Okay, so this is a wrong statement, because once the constructor is created by the user compiler, then the automatic compiler will not create any default constructor. Okay, then the compiler will not create any default constructor. Okay, because once the constructor is created by user, compiler will not create any default constructor. Okay. Okay. Is that clear to everyone? All these three types of constructor I've already explained you in with the examples about the parameterized constructor, right?
Teacher, for the no argument constructor, so when do we use it, and why is it different than the default constructor? Because they look like same.
Yeah, it is same, but you know, sometimes it is useful. Why? Because we wanted to suppose employee. Okay, so suppose you wanted some of your employee, suppose there are 500 employees, okay, but some have left your organization. So what will happen? That time there will be no arguments, or you wanted to delete that. So if you create an empty or no argument constructor, then it will not give you any error. Okay, if you delete those information from the from your database. Okay, this we are hard coding, but what will happen is it takes some data from the repository or somewhere we have written. Okay, so if you create any no argument constructor, this is just an example I'm telling you. There are many more uses also which we will explore. But if you create a no argument constructor, it will not give you any error. Okay, it will give just warning that it is not used. The value local is not, E3 is not used, but it will not give you any error.
Okay.
If you don't, yeah, if you don't write it, then it will give you an error. But suppose the employee person has left your job and you don't want that data to be there, then you just write an no argument constructor, so it will not give you any error. So that is the one use which it's coming to my mind, but I'm sure there are many more use. I will tell you later point of time. So usually what will happen is, like, there are three main types of constructor which is available, and you should know that there are default, no argument, and parameterized. Okay. Okay. Now constructor do not have any return type. Why? I told you, right? There are no return type for a constructor. There are two main reasons that why there are no return type. The main method or the main function of the constructor is to, so the main reason why the constructor is used is to initialize the object, right? We are initializing the object. That is why it will not have any return type. Why? Because we are just initializing it. That is the only use. There is no calculation, or there is no like no other things, or no printing of the variables, or nothing is used inside the constructor. The main function or the main use of constructor is just to initialize the object, and that's why there is no return type. Because when is the return type used? When we are doing some calculation, or suppose we wanted the maximum number of maximum number given in the, like, out of 3 we want a maximum number. So what we will return the some value or the maximum number we wanted to return, or something we are calculating and that we are returning, or we are returning some boolean, true or false, some task which we are performing, that we will want to return. But here what we are doing, we are just initializing the value and nothing else we are doing. So we don't need any return type, and that's why it is removed that there is a return type is needed. One more thing is, when a compiler create a default constructor by its own, that time compiler will not able to judge the return type, right? Because it is creating by its own. So how he will know, or how that compiler will know that what will be the return type we want, right? Either we want integer type, or we want string type, or anything else. So compiler won't be able to know. So there is no concept of return type only. Okay, because to make it simple for the compiler, it is no return type in the constructor. Is that clear? This is the two simple reason why there is no return type in the constructor. Okay, so just to summarize what all we have learned in the constructor is a block similar to a method, have same name as that of a class name. Okay, constructor does not have any return type, not even void. Okay, so there's no return type. Constructor only have 4 access modifier, like that is public, private, protected, and default. And static, final, synchronization, etc. cannot be used in the constructor. Like public, static, void main we use, right? In the main method. So that we cannot use it. Final is also there, synchronization, we will learn about it. But We cannot use it in the constructor, only public, private, protected, and default. Okay, constructor executes automatically when we create an object. Okay, so these are the points which you have to remember. If any question can be asked from this. Okay, use of constructor. Use of constructor is to initialize an object. That's it. Not to create an object, only to initialize the object. Sometimes you get confused with the, like, to create an object we need constructor. No. For creating an object, you need a default constructor. Okay. But what is the use of constructor? You always say initializing the object. Okay. The creating of object is a different thing. That is altogether different. We use constructor, but that is like a compiler generated constructor, default constructor. But use of constructor is to initialize. Okay. Now, how many types of constructor? 3 types: default, no argument, and parameterized. Okay. So this is a very important topic, and I'm sure 1 or 2 questions will be asked by the interviewer by this. Okay. So just be very clear with this topic. Okay. Now comes this keyword. Okay. We will learn about this keyword in detail. Why this keyword is important in Java. Okay. So I will tell you, this is the six main use of this keyword. We will do it in detail in our next class because time is very less. So I will just explain you, and we will do that in the next class. Okay. This keyword can be used to refer current class instance variable. Okay. So current class means local variables, right? Sorry, current class instance variable, that is global variable. Okay. So this keyword can be used to refer current class instance variable, which we have defined inside the class, not with the method. So these are all instance variable. Okay. This keyword can be used to invoke current class method implicitly. Okay. Okay, what we'll do? We'll do it one by one, otherwise you get confused. This can be used to invoke current class constructor. This method, okay, this is a method. This can also be used to invoke current class constructor. This can be used to pass an argument in the method class, and this can be used to pass an argument on the current constructor class. And this keyword can be used to return the current class instance from the method. Okay, we will go one by one. At least first thing we can cover today. Rest we will cover it in the next class. Okay. So this keyword can be used to refer current class instance variable, which I think I've told you, but I'll explain you once again. So what will happen is, suppose there is a test class and there is an instance variable I. Okay. Now there is a local variable inside the set value. Okay. Set value is again a method name. Inside that we are passing one variable, and we are initializing it, and we are displaying it into the show method. Okay. We have done this before, correct? So what will happen? Can anyone tell the output of this? We have created one object, we have called this method, and we are passing the value 10 and showing it, right? So this is the normal thing. Okay, now what will happen is, as I told you, if there is a same name, okay, same name as an instance variable, local and local and the instance variable name is same, then what will happen? Okay. Then the compiler will get confused and gives you the result as 0. In previous, it was giving as 10, but here it is giving 0. Why? Because it get confused with the name. Okay. So if we want to use it, the same name, suppose I will write one class as test. Okay, there's already a test. Okay, so what is happening here is I'm creating one method, right? Method of set value. Okay, void set value and passing a variable integer I. Okay, and there is one instance variable which is integer x, or again I. Suppose first I will give you x. Okay. And then what I'm doing is I'm creating one object speed equal to new. Am I clear? Anyone has any doubt? I mean, am I audible to everyone?
Yes.
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 Okay. Okay. Sorry, t dot I. Suppose I'm writing t dot x. Okay. Now, can anyone tell the output of this program? If I have not done any initialization, then what will happen? Suppose I have not done this. This line I have not written.
Error.
Will give error or it will give 0?
No, it will give the answer.
0.
0. Yeah.
0. Yeah.
0. It will give 0. Why? Because x is not having any value. And
Yes.
if we have created one object, what it will do? I told you, right? It creates a space in a memory with all these values, whichever you have written here as 0, right? I told you, right? This
Yes.
thing.
Null
Yeah,
and
this
number should 0.
null
Yes.
and 0. Yeah. So if I create any object, it will store a memory in which all the variables, whichever instance variable is there, it will assign it as 0 or null. Even though we have not given any value, like we have not given null or we have not given 0, but it will give like this. Okay. So it will give 0. Then now what will happen? I have given x value as I. Okay. And I am passing here as 10, right? I'm already passing here as 10. It's an integer. And this I'm passing integer. If I pass a, it will give error, right? If I pass anything other than integer, it will give error. Okay. So what will happen? It will give you 10, correct? Simple. Now what will happen if I put it as x and also put it as x? I wanted to give the same name. Okay. I wanted to give the same name. Then what will happen? If I execute
Yes,
this,
the compiler will be confused.
yeah, the compiler will get confused that what I am trying to do. What is the use? Why it is? What it is happening? So the compiler get confused. Now what will happen? If I use this keyword here, okay. If I use this dot x, okay. Now what will happen? this keyword helps to define that this is a instance variable and this is a local variable. Okay, this is local variable and this is instance variable, and the 10 which is passing here in the local variable is assigned to the instance variable, and then we are printing the instance variable here. Okay, then it will get solved. The problem is solved and it is giving you the correct thing. So this is the use of this keyword. Okay, so what we were what was the first use of this keyword? This keyword can be this keyword can be used to refer current class instance variable. Okay, so that is the first use. Now everyone understood why we use this keyword? Just in case if we want to write the same name as instance variable and the local variable, if it is same, then the use of this keyword comes. Is that clear?
Yes.
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 Okay. Okay. Now coming to the next thing. Okay, we have time. So this keyword can be used to invoke the current class method implicitly. Okay. Now see, suppose this is a test class and we have written two methods like display and show. Okay, both at same. Okay, both these are just what is happening is we are calling only the show method here. Okay, we have created one instance variable, object, instance object, and then we are calling this method. And here in this method, we are calling the another method. Okay, so this keyword can be used to invoke current class method. Okay, I will show you. Okay, so what will happen is there is one method, suppose void show. Okay. Here what we are doing, we are writing we are calling one more method which is display. Okay, calling one method, and inside the display void display, what we are doing, suppose we are displaying something like hello, what I have written now. Okay. And then what here we are doing, we are calling the show method. Okay, only the show method. Now if I write here as this dot display, see this dot display, it is coming, right? So it will call this method. Either we can write display only or this dot display, but this dot display will tell you this can be used to invoke current class method implicitly. Like it will call this method. Either we write only display, then also it will work. Both will work same. But if we write this dot display, it will be more correct. Okay, it will be more correct. So this is the second use of this keyword. Okay. Is that understood to you? What is the use of this keyword?
Yes.
Okay. Next is, this method can be used to invoke the current class constructor. Okay, so suppose there are two constructor. Okay, two constructor means there is one no argument constructor and there is a argument constructor. So what will happen?
Actually, the void is there, so test will not be the constructor, right? Because constructor doesn't have the return type.
Yeah, correct. So there is no void. Okay.
It should be an access modifier.
Yeah, I have written it by mistake. Now it is correct. Good. Okay. Good. You notice that. Okay. So this can be used to invoke the current class constructor. Okay. So this is a simple thing. There's two constructor and we are calling the no argument constructor in the main method. Now what will happen is, again, the same mistake I have done. So what will happen is, if I'm calling this, then what will be, which one will be called? This one, right? Parameterized constructor. Then again, suppose I have written like this, okay? This and parentheses. Then what will happen? Can anyone tell? What will be the output?
It will go to the
For both.
no argument.
Yeah. So it will print both. Why it will print both? Because this is calling the no argument constructor. Okay, I will show you how. Okay. So suppose there is an test. Okay, this is test and this is also test, but here I'm passing one variable which is integer a, suppose. Okay, and here I am writing argument constructor, and here I am writing no argument constructor. Okay. Now inside the main method, what I am doing is I am calling test. Okay. E dot here. Okay, I don't need, obviously it's a constructor, so I don't need to call it, right? I've just told you that the constructor is, we don't need to call the constructor. We can pass the value here, right? So if we are passing value here, then what will happen? Can anyone tell which is printed?
Argument constructor.
Argument constructor, right? And if we are not writing anything, then what will happen?
No argument
constructor, right? But when we are calling a suppose we are calling a argument constructor, and inside that we are writing this like this. Okay. Okay. We just write it this and we're calling the argument constructor. Then what will happen? It will execute both. Why? Because this can be used as calling a constructor which has having no argument. Okay, we are calling the constructor which has no argument with the help of this. Okay, the same thing which I'm telling here, this with a parenthesis can be used to invoke a current class constructor. Okay, if we are passing here 10, then what will happen? Suppose we are passing here 10, not here, because we cannot call it inside this, right? Control X. Here. Okay. Then what will happen?
First R constructor, then non-R constructor.
Yeah, but here we have to pass the no argument. Then only it will call here now. Otherwise, if I pass 10, then it will only print one argument constructor. But when I print no argument, it will go here. Then it will print argument and no argument. Is that clear to everyone? That we can call the constructor with the help of this keyword. Okay, so this is the use of. Now your assignment is, there is one more super keyword. Okay, super keyword. So you have to read all the uses of super keyword. Okay, super keyword is also same as this keyword, but this keyword I'm explaining. If you want, if you learn super keyword, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, we will do this rest in the next class. Like these are the 3 uses, right? Next use is what? This can be used to pass an argument in the method call. Okay, so this keyword can use to pass an argument in the method call. Okay, I will tell you this in detail. Okay, so till third point, everyone understood? Till third point. Okay, till
Yes.
third point, everyone understood that this keyword can be used to refer the current class variable, and this keyword can be used to invoke the class method implicitly, and this method can be invoked current class constructor. Okay, so these 3 points are clear. Any doubt in this?
Yes, clear.
Clear, no? So rest 3 points, we will do it in the next class and we will move ahead. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Just practice it. I will share this this PPT with everyone. Okay. Stop recording.